Hey everyone! I have some exciting news. Skeletales now has its very own merch shop. You can get t-shirts, mugs, notebooks, and even illustrations that Alissa has done to go with some of our episodes. You can find a link to our Skeletales shop at skeletalespodcast.com or any of our social media outlets. All proceeds go to support this show, so head over there so we can keep this party going. Yes. Hi, I'm Britt.
And my name is Alissa.
And this is Skeletales.
This is the podcast where we strive to answer the age-old question of, is my dead grandma watching me?
Alissa, what is that called when you walk into a room and you're going to do something and then you completely forget?
Oh,
it has the name.
You're putting me on the spot. Is it the new room syndrome? No. Is that it?
No.
No,
it's your dead grandma.
Doorway syndrome. What?
It's your
What's
dead
my
grandma.
Grandma?
she sucks it out of your brain.
Oh my God, I totally forgot that we were doing the whole grandma bit. And I was like, what is the name of that phenomena? I just texted you, or I just was geeked out on you because I just read.
You totally did.
Do you remember the name of it for reals? No, it's like messing
No,
with me.
I don't.
So grandma's wiping my memory. She just did it now. It's grandma, I guess. That's it. Grandma is sitting in there in the
Grandma room syndrome.
Yeah, maybe she's in there and she has to play an amnesia on you, and so you don't notice her or something. You gotta.
You never know. Yes.
Yeah, but grandma. I agree. Sure, grandma. Grandma with the doorway phenomenon. But we don't just worry about grandma or talk about grandma.
No. We talk about lots of stuff.
We talk about psychic phenomena, ghost stories, lots of ghost stories.
Lots of good ghosties. We like supernatural. We like
haunted
creepy
places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Haunted place.
I want a near-death experience. Well, I don't want one personally, but I want to hear some stories about them.
Don't do that.
And actually, Britt, I got one tonight. I got a near-death experience to share, and I'm so excited.
Somebody came through for you.
Someone came through to me.
Yeah.
For me. And NDE is the short name for it, so maybe I will use that.
Is your first one a near-death experience, NDE?
It is. I'm gonna kick it off with the near-death experience. Is there anything you wanted to talk about, discuss, Britt? Anything on your mind concerning you?
The only thing that has now come to my mind is that I have to know this story. So please.
Okay, we're gonna hop right into it.
That might be the first ever in Skeletales history that we just tell the story of right off the bat.
Should we also mention that it is already quite late for you? We are doing this late. This is okay. We make the rules.
We can do quick.
Yeah, let's see how everyone likes it. Maybe they don't want to hear us jammer on. Don't worry. You're not going to escape that. There's no way. Okay, so I'm not sure if this person wants their name told, so I'm going to do it anonymously and maybe change relations and stuff. But
okay.
So this is about my friend's grandmother and her near-death experience. So
Ooh.
There's a little backstory. Her grandparents were married, but at some point during their relationship, apparently something got a little weird with one of Grandpa's brothers. He was like one of 6 kids or something. Mm-hmm. Something about a boat and something about them estranged. And I think the vibe that my friend was getting is that the grandma and the uncle almost had an affair, essentially. Unsubstantiated, but that is sort of the vibe. And it broke apart their relationship. And it was a long running, I think, till they died. Just long standing rift between this brother. Okay. And so the grandfather passed away from a stroke. And then the following year, the grandmother had a massive heart attack. And she died on the operating table. She had a warm feeling and was walking down a tunnel. and was looking for her husband. She's like, I want to see Steve. I want to see Steve. But who does she see in this tunnel? But the brother.
Oh my gosh.
She was disappointed that the husband wasn't there. That's who she expected. And I guess surprised that it was the brother-in-law. And he said, you know, she went and told him, she's like, I want to see Steve. I want to see Steve. And the brother-in-law is like, no, you have to go back. You can't, not now. You got to go back. He apologized for causing a rift between them for all those years. And then he's like, you got to go back. You got to go back. And then she got sucked back into her body. And she remembered that, and she remembered being disappointed. She was also like reassured that she knew something was coming afterwards. So my friend was told this by her grandmother directly. Years after her mom or her grandmother had passed away, she told her mom about, you know, what her grandma had said. She's like, what? Yeah. She never told me that. She didn't tell me she saw anything. Like, what? And she was really floored by this. And so, especially because her mother had taken care of both of her parents at the end of their lives. She like spent like 5 years of her life, like caring for her father and her mother and then I want to say the mother lived. So she had the massive heart attack, but she lived for a while.
But the mother ended up caring for the grandparent, though?
Yeah. And the grandparents, they were kind of cold people, apparently. Like, they weren't very loving. They weren't very generous with their love or affection. And though the mother, like, cared for them until their death, she never really felt like she wasn't like they appreciated it, you know. It wasn't, there was no big thank you, or, you know, we know you're
such an old school mentality to be like, well, it's your duty as a child to take care of us.
Yeah, right. So she was at a Taco Bell a couple of years later with my friend. I think my friend was there and her siblings, and a woman apparently comes up to her mom and is like, your mom and dad want me to say thank you for taking such good care of them towards the end of their life. And
in a Taco Bell?
In a Taco Bell, out of the blue, like, just hey, your mom, I've got a message from your mom and dad. I think she even like prefaced, hey, I'm sorry, this is going to, you know, sound a little crazy or something, but I have to tell you that your mom and dad want me to say thank you for taking such good care of them at the end of their lives.
Oh my gosh. Did she say I'm a psychic, or how did she say she gathered this information?
I didn't ask that question. I don't know. I imagine she must be a medium. Yes, it was. That was the implied story. It was that she was a medium, or like she saw them and they were talking and wanted to convey a message. And that's, I'm like, I want that to happen to me.
Yes.
Why did any mediums ever walk up to me and like,
I mean, that would solve for sure the podcast question. If somebody came up to you in a Taco Bell and they're like, Alissa, well, maybe that's a problem. Do you eat at Taco Bell?
I just identified the same problem. Well, no, I don't. I don't eat at Taco Bell. There it is.
There it is.
Okay, well, I better start.
What would you order at Taco Bell?
I have no idea. A gordita. Gordita, is that a thing? I have no idea. I've like literally
I think that's the one that it's like in a pita. It's like and not a regular taco shell, right? I don't know.
I heard a commercial about it.
I used to like those Crunch Wrap Supremes. That's what I used to order.
Sounds delicious. Sounds crunchy and creamy, all in one. Supreme, is it? Supreme.
This episode brought to you by.
I haven't eaten at Taco Bell in ages. But so my friend's mom, she is not somebody who's like all hippy dippy that you would think would be open to receiving this sort of message. She is very kind of prim and proper, and you know, she was like conservative. She didn't like get raised by these really strict, stiff parents and then like rebel and become a hippie flower child. No, she is like definitely someone I would never be like, oh, hey, like that you would pin for being into something like that or be open and receptive of such a message. But apparently it really moved her. And she was like really happy to hear it because she had felt like, I don't know if she felt like they weren't thankful, but because they didn't show it, there's that seed of doubt that they really appreciated what she had, or that they loved her at all. Like if you never show emotion.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if she's had like the bathroom experience where she's just like, show me a sign, universe, that, that they really cared about me. Yeah, and then she goes to talk about. Yeah.
So I want some like rogue psychic reading. I'd take that. That would almost be best. I don't want
psychics and mediums.
Yeah, just
get
pass
out there
by
and start
Trader
doing
Joe's.
It's like with Trader Joe's. Yeah. No, it's like the interviewer who comes around, who's on the sidewalk and he's got the microphone, but instead of that, just be like, excuse me, I know something about your...
Yeah, exactly. You know what I did do once? Did you ever go to... was it... PCC is a health food store here. There's a health food store in Denver that was...
Vitamin Cottage?
It might have been Vitamin Cottage, but I actually almost think it could have been Sunflower Markets too. Regardless, it was some kind of like
they're
crunchy, like grocery store. And there was a woman who was doing aura readings with like an aura machine or something there. Ooh. And it was for free. And so I sat down and I did it. So this is the closest I've come to this like rogue reading. And she like took my picture and looked at the machine. I can't remember if I saw the picture or not. Because there might have been like an upsell that I was like, no, I just want like the free little reading. And she looks at the picture and she goes, oh, Alissa. Like really,
oh no,
like doom and gloom and like bad energy. I was like, she's like right near your shoulders and your neck. I think it was like brown. I don't know. I do know I went home and I looked up the aura like colors afterwards, but that was not a good one. That was like
maybe you don't want a medium to come up to you.
Well, then I want to know what it is. I'm curious. Oh, I have a brown aura.
What's hanging out on your shoulders? That just feels like stress to me.
Stress, some TMJ, some...
I have a little theory about the near-death experience. I think because when Grandma went through the tunnel and she sees the brother... I think that was part of the plan, because if Grandpa Steve had been there, she would not have gone back. She would have been like, if he was like, darling, you got to go back. She'd be like, no, I'm going to be here with you. I'm not going to go back. But they sent somebody who they'd be like, she won't go with that guy.
Oh, see. Okay. I think my initial theory was that maybe like she's meeting her real soulmate. Maybe the uncle was the one, and that's.
But she was disappointed.
Meet. Oh, you're right.
Your real soulmate is at the end.
It's not. I don't know, but I think your theory is also that's probably solid. And maybe her, maybe she could go back with a little piece that like they made up, like her husband and her brother, the brother-in-law are good. Maybe she felt guilt about that relationship, about the rift.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah,
but yeah. So she saw warm, fuzzy feeling. A lot of these that I've heard about are always like there's some voice that says you need to go back. You have to go back, which is like a common theme throughout so many of these near-death experiences.
What I have, not that I have, read or heard of hundreds or anything, but a lot of the ones that I hear about, it's when it's happening, it's overwhelming. Peace and calm and happiness and like good, warm and fuzzies, which is always kind of encouraging for somebody who, doesn't know what's beyond the veil or whatever.
I mean, like me, I don't know. But you're right. I like to
hold on to those. I mean, I guess
I've heard some not so happy ones, but my brain is like, I have. And then I'm like, well, maybe they just weren't really dead. Maybe they just, maybe they're the little patches on their shoulder. What are those? Oh God. What do you put on your chest
Nicotine?
when you're in the hospital? No.
Oh.
These nicotine patches. We're not attached.
Where they monitors your heart,
like a heart rate monitor. The little patches,
not on there securely.
Yeah, they weren't on there securely. They didn't really die. They had a healthy, and then they got shocked, and then they had bad experiences because of that, or the drugs or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that was my first taste of a near-death experience.
Okay, so before I start my story, can we talk for just a moment about the NextDoor app?
The NextDoor app, what everyone loves, everyone's favorite app before.
Everyone's favorite app where we hear about, someone's trash can getting hit or a dog being found or
a dog poop.
That neighbor who never lets their dog in the house and just barking nonstop.
There's a lot of booms in our neighborhood that people inquire about. Lots of booms.
Yes. But I'm not claiming this. Alissa has discovered the secret of NextDoor. And it's in the ghost stories. I now want to do for our listeners what I'm calling the NextDoor challenge. Oh. And I want, if you don't have the app, go get it. Numero uno. And I want you to throw out a good question. A ghost question or yours was about some weird spooky bridge, something.
Mine was about some sort of cryptid that I'd read. I was trying to find a local story, and then I found these kind of half stories about a road that I know a lot of people in my neighborhood likely drive. And so I threw it up there. I was like, hey, I heard this story about this and that. I'm not telling because it's going to be a spoiler. I'm alluding to a story. Well, although I never, 189 comments later, and I still didn't get any story based on my initial question. But it started like a fire on NextDoor.
Mine took off too.
Yeah. So I was just like, does anyone have any more input or know anything about this local folklore? And then people were like, best thread ever.
So listeners, go start a thread. Ask a question, reach out, and then share it with us. Post it on our Facebook community or send us an email or just message us. I want to know. I'm so into it. My friend Sabrina actually posted on our Facebook community. She brought us a good NextDoor one, and I think this is what inspired the NextDoor challenge in my brain. So I'm going to read it to you.
Okay. I didn't realize you had a story involved. I thought you were just going to rave about NextDoor and us being the Bill and Ted's of peace to NextDoor. We play the song Peace that brought calm and unity to the land of NextDoor.
We did. No longer were people plagued with loud cars revving in the street. Okay, so Sabrina posted a NextDoor a NextDoor post that she got in her neighborhood. And it says, looking for recommendations for someone to remove spirits from my home. They moved in around August. Wife has already spent $600 on crystals, but Aunt Maggie said that they might be expired by now. If anyone has ideas, please let me know.
I remember that now. Go ahead.
She posted the comments. It's gold. Okay, I'm not going to read all the comments, but I'll just give you some bullet points here on what I now know about removing ghosts from house. 1, crystals don't expire, but they do need to be cleansed, preferably by moonlight.
Oh.
2, sage smudging is imperative, but also you can use rosemary. 3, holy water.
Oh.
4.
Okay.
The little St. Christopher statues, you just have to put them everywhere. Isn't
he the saint of finding lost shit?
You're the Catholic.
Saint Anthony. Maybe it's Anthony. Never mind. Saint Anthony. Saint Christopher. What do you think it is? Guess. What would Saint Christopher do?
Oh, me.
A protector of
Saint
some sort?
Christopher. He has to be like the protector or the expeller of evil.
Maybe he's just really annoying. He's real chatty. And they're put him all over. Release the Christophers.
It's like what we do in the Shadows Vampire where you sex your energy. Hey, let me tell you a story that I heard about this.
He's just a real buzzkill.
Yeah, just sucks
That's
it out of you.
The patron saint of buzzkills and energy vampires.
That's good.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so my number one, I will read one response. It was my favorite. I'm pretty sure He was joking around, but let's hope that he wasn't. He says, I am level 90 phasmophobia. I can identify Yuris, banshees, wraiths, but I am not good with identifying shades. Please advise if you have any thermometers, smudge sticks, or crucifixes, and I can assemble my crew.
Wait, it sounded like you were speaking a foreign language from the get-go, where those names are cryptids or something. Like, what were the words you were saying?
Yuris. I don't know what a Yuris is. I know what a banshee is. Wraiths. I've heard of wraiths.
Okay.
I don't know what they are. Or shades. What are shades? Where this guy knows what he's talking about, I guess.
So maybe
he's level 90.
Yeah, he knows. I was not aware that the crystals need to be charged or cleansed. Why would one assume they expired? They're a battery.
It's a Best Buy date.
How do you test? Yes, like how do we test the energy levels of the crystals?
Aunt Maggie.
I like the idea. I like the idea of like a little rechargeable battery port where you just like recharge your crystals. You plug that into the wall.
Yes.
I mean, the moon is pretty nice.
That's good.
But how do are there scientific experiments that prove this? Like what? I don't know. I feel like some of this must come from somewhere. Oh, it's not vibrating at as high of a frequency as it was on March 2018. Time to recharge.
So then the original poster, he says, thanks for the ideas. We tried a Ouija, spells it WEEGEE. Oh, he knows.
That's cute. Ouija board.
Tried a Ouija board last night and asked the spirit what it wanted. And it said, more. What does that mean?
They want more crystal juice. Email your friend. Tell her that this goes charge the battery, charge the crystals. They need to suck. They want to
crystal
suck
battery
on the crystals.
charger.
That's what they want. Yeah, that's what the ghosts want. That's what they want more of. Is that sweet
Did you
crystal
say to suck
juice.
on the crystal?
Yes. I'm
into it.
Email. We'll get that chain reaction.
Solved. Let's get on there. Let's solve this next service. Anyways, people, reach out and then tell us the goods. Do you want me to tell my story next, or would you like to tell your next one? And
no,
then
you tell yours.
It's a more credible source than Expired Crystal Man. Let's just say that.
Okay. Is it like the old mayor of Austin?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
That would be credible.
This is from Sean, not the mayor of Austin.
Okay.
But this story happened about 3 years ago. Sean had just moved to Austin from Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
And he moved here and stayed for a short period of time in an extended stay while looking for a rental home, then finally found a rental home in North Austin suburbia. He found a nice big 2-story house there for his family to move up to with him. It had wooden floors, and the upstairs had a loft, and it's where the bedrooms were, including the master. So when he first moved in, he did not have much with him at all. He had like a couple of pots for cooking. He bought a grill so he could do some grilling outside. And then a couple of days of being there, he had his furniture delivered. But it was really just like a couch, TV, bed. Very empty house. So he has this grill that he's using on the back patio. And he goes out there to do a lot of his cooking. At this particular night, he had been in the house for about 2 or 3 nights, and it was around 10 o'clock at night, and Sean went to take the trash outside. Now, he was familiar with the trash is in the backyard, I should preface.
Okay.
And the grill is in the back patio, so he's familiar going to this back patio, the backyard. He knows the door to the back. It has a deadbolt, it has a door lock on the doorknob, and when you open it, it stays open. It's a fairly basic back door.
Okay, yeah, sounds it. I feel like I have a guess of where this is going, but I won't spoil it yet. I just want to let you know. I do have a guess. I might be
setting
way
it
off.
up.
But
So it's 10 o'clock at night. He's taking the trash out. He goes out. He walks a few feet away from the door, and the door slams shut. And he's like, you know what? Bet it was a draft. It's fine. He throws the trash away, goes to go back inside, and the lock on the door handle is locked. He cannot get back in. He does not have his phone, his keys, his wallet. Everything is inside. He is in sandals, shorts, gym shorts, and a tank top. And he's just moved into the house. So first he goes and he checks all the windows. They're all locked. Everything's locked. He's like, well, all right, maybe I'll just break a window. And then he's like, I just moved in. Everyone's for sure will think I'm just trying to break into this house.
Also, a window seems expensive. Like, I would just call a locksmith if possible or something, right?
That's what he did. But this is suburbia, so he has to walk like quite a ways to go. He ends up at a 7-Eleven to call the locksmith. And I think it's probably over a mile, I think, is where the 7-Eleven is.
I mean, he could knock on a neighbor's door. Oh, it was late, so he probably didn't want to wake up.
Oh, yeah, it's after 10 at this point. So anyways, he calls the locksmith at the 7-Eleven, meets the locksmith at the house. He gets him into the house, and he asks the locksmith, he says, is it normal for doors to lock on their own? And the locksmith said, never in all of my years of locksmithing have I ever seen a door lock itself on its own. And he said, also, sir, if the door had been locked before you went outside, you would not have been able to go outside because you could not have turned the handle. So it had to have locked at some point after he had already opened.
From the inside, the locksmith, how many years has this locksmith been working? That's a good question. What if it was his first week on the job? I mean...
Sean made it sound like he was an experienced locksmith. Do you
locksmith.
know doors that lock on their own regularly?
Okay, so I feel not regularly, but I could see like a wiggly handle and it like slams so hard it just like accidentally jolts it into a position.
But here's the quandary.
Okay.
This is not a back door that slams. It is a back door that stays open. But it slammed shut this evening.
Okay. I'm not talking particularly about his. I'm saying in all this locksmith's days, of all the locks he's jimmied.
You're questioning the locksmith.
There wasn't one that he's seen that a door has slammed and it like kind of just jiggled locked. I feel like
now I can see that with one of those like janky bathroom doors where they put the really cheap ones. No, you don't put that on your back door though.
No, but you sometimes put those little, those little middle of the door handle ones, like some cheap. If it was a deadbolt, was it a deadbolt that locked? Like that one just accidentally chunk. But
let me continue.
Okay. Get the locksmith on the podcast. I got some questions.
Got some questions. Okay. The very next night, same time. 10 p.m. He's upstairs in bed. Lights are off. I imagine he's probably just on his phone. But he hears some noise downstairs coming from the kitchen. He hears pots clanking around and lots of noise, almost like somebody's cooking down there. He immediately gets really freaked out. He turns the light on in his room and he goes out onto that loft in the upstairs and tries to look downstairs. But from his viewpoint, he can't see into the kitchen. He just sees that all of the lights are turned off downstairs. So he goes back into the master bedroom and he gets his wife on the phone and he's like telling her the story.
Wait, his wife is back in Alabama?
Yes. The wife and the family are back in Alabama and he's talking to her on the phone. And I guess talking to her kind of gives him the courage to be like, all right, I'm going to, brave the stairs. And he starts walking down the stairs and he looks down and notices that the kitchen light is turned on now. And so he hangs up on his wife mid-stairway and calls 911. And he's trying to whisper to not alert the intruder. And 911 says, don't be a hero. Go upstairs. We're on our way. Just stay in your bedroom. And so he does that. He goes back upstairs, closes the door, and he waits. A few minutes goes by, and then he hears a knocking at the door. And he's like, okay, the police are here. And he's listening. He doesn't hear the clanking from the kitchen anymore. And he hears the knock again from the police. And he's like, I'm just going to go down there and talk to him. So he like, okay, go. And then he runs downstairs, runs to the front door, opens it, and goes outside and closes the door. And he tells them the intruder's in there. He's in the kitchen. Yeah. And so the police go in and they search the house. Nobody's in there.
Nobody's there.
And so the police, they come back and they're like, they must have gone out the back door, while we were in, they must have heard you on the phone, left through the back door while we were coming. Just make sure that all your, that you've locked up your house and, they leave. Yeah. And so he goes back to bed. He's freaked out still. Like he's all riled up. He doesn't sleep all night. So then 2 nights go by. And that night, 10 o'clock at night, he's laying in bed. And then he hears the noise in the kitchen again, the clanking, and like somebody's in that kitchen cooking food again, clanking of pots. And he doesn't want to call the cops again because he doesn't want to be that person who looks crazy 2 nights later being like, oh, hey.
They're bad.
So he decides he's like, all right, he's just going to go talk to the person. So he goes out of his room.
That's ballsy. Okay.
He doesn't go. At this point, he stays upstairs, but he's yelling down at the from the top of the stairs. He goes, "Who's down there? Come out now!" Like he's upset. He does not want somebody in his house. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is just difficult to listen to from through the lens of knowing we are like a paranormal podcast that deals with weird stuff. So I'm pretty sure at this point it's not an intruder in his house, like a robber in his house, right? But it might not be. But at the same time, it's hard to be like...
He still thinks it's an intruder.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. From his perspective, he's like, there is someone in my house. And now he's like, I'm going to go talk to him. I was like, what?
Well, he wasn't ready to be like, excuse me,
sir.
He
just wanted to let them know that the house isn't empty.
The house isn't empty. Yeah, because it looked pretty empty. There was like a couch.
Well, yeah, and if it had been unoccupied before he moved in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. Although logically, if an intruder came in, why are they rifling through the pots and pans so much? I don't know.
Maybe they're a squatter. Maybe they just like to need a place to sleep.
They just need to cook their beans, their can of beans. So as soon as he yells, "Who's here? Come out now!" the noise completely stops. So then he's like, okay. He waits there and he's listening. He's listening mostly to hear if this person's going to head out through that back door again. Nothing. He doesn't hear a door open. He doesn't hear a window. He doesn't hear footsteps. And he doesn't hear anything. So then I imagine enough time's gone by that he decides it's safe to go downstairs and find this person. Nobody's there.
Who's hiding, right?
Who's got to be hiding? Nobody's there. There's every window's locked still. Every door is locked. He even checks on the pots and pans. They're still in the exact place that he put them. They've not moved. So things don't happen for a few days. And at this point, he's trying to get the house ready for the family to come up. They're moving up soon. They're going to be in the house. And he's walking around. He's got his phone. He's showing his wife the house and where things are. And he's showing her the front door. And the front door has these tall, skinny windows that are like
side
flanking
lights.
The sides of the door. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that before?
Yeah, I think they're side lights, or that's what we call them in New York, like the windows.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, what the old owner had put these like little skinny blinds over the little windows next to the door. Sean was like, "These are super tacky. Can I take these down?" And his wife's like, "Yeah, sure, fine. Take them down." So he decides to take them down. He pulls the blinds up, and as he's reaching up to take them down, a little black doll falls down.
No.
Not just any, like, it's not a Barbie doll. It's this little 3-inch tall black hand-sewn fabric doll.
Ooh.
It doesn't have anything, no features, no clothes. It's just this like crudely sewn doll.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It sounds
So
like, I thought for a second, I'm like, is he in New Orleans? Like, it sounds like voodoo. That's my, like, some black magic-y sort of stuff.
North Austin suburbia.
Yeah. Okay.
So he goes to the other blind on the other side, pulls the blinds up. Black doll falls out of that side too.
What? No.
He's like, fuck this shit. He takes the dolls, immediately throws them into the trash.
Yeah.
Nothing to do. Not even the inside trash. He goes outside, throws them in the outside. Get them out. I was like, please tell me you took a picture. And he was like, no, I did not even fuck around with a picture.
I do want to see a picture. I'm just picturing something very basic. I'm picturing like black felt doll, but maybe with some stringy hair. And no face or something. That's what I'm picturing. Okay.
Yeah.
But 2, 1, okay. A little kid's playing. They throw a little doll. It gets caught up there or something. But in both of them and then right next to the front door, that's where I'm like, ooh, that definitely seems like a little
something's going on, right?
Witchy or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of spell.
Yeah. Totally. So after he throws the dolls away, he's like, well, I just took away the black magic. Like the dark spirits fixed it, done and done. The trash has taken that shit away. And for a long time, nothing happened. Family moves in, they get settled, everybody is happy, things are going great. Shortly after the family came, his older daughter came with her husband, his son-in-law, and their kid for a visit. And they decided to bunk them up in the loft upstairs on a pull-out bed. And the next morning, everyone's downstairs and Sean's making breakfast. And the son-in-law comes in the room and says, oh, y'all are cooking again. And Sean's like, what are you talking about? He says, well, last night, really late at night, I heard someone downstairs in the kitchen cooking. What were you guys making? Sean looks at his wife, who already knows the story.
Yeah.
He's like, what? But they don't say anything. They don't divulge. They don't want to seem crazy.
Okay. Because I could see him give him a hard time or something if he knew the story, right? But
nope.
It sounds like
Nobody knows.
Okay.
Well, because I think he felt a little like,
well, yes.
I don't want to sound like nutty here.
Yeah.
So
I was
the only person who knows is his wife, who he's called and is like, somebody's here. Yes, exactly.
That is embarrassing. Okay.
So later that year at Thanksgiving, they have some friends come for the holiday. And this time they put the friends in the kids' room that they have. And then they put the kids in the loft. And the same thing happens. Similar story. The next morning, everyone's downstairs. The friends come in and both of the friends, 2 of them, they said, man, you guys were being so loud in the kitchen last night. Were you guys cooking something? Just clanking around? And this time, Sean finally is like, okay, this is not normal. Like, you're this, like, so he ends up telling the whole story to the friends who came to visit. And that was the last experience that happened in the house before they moved. They only ended up staying in that house for a year before they moved to a different house in the same neighborhood. But I think they were just like done with that kind of.
We've heard stories about clattering kitchen a lot of the time. Or like, we talk about this in the bathroom.
Yes.
Maybe some people just going, or ghosts going about their routine or some sort of memory of a time that has passed. This one, however, it does make me wonder if there's like a wall person, someone who's living in the walls of their house or something, and that who's coming. Like maybe he can make it a couple nights before he like has to come out and eat something or something. But
Sean has said that the pots stay. He said that they were in the cupboard under the cabinet and they've not moved. They're in the exact spot. So
maybe he brings his own pots out of his hidey hole. and has a little escape tunnel. I don't know, but like for it to be so loud that everyone notices, that's really crazy. And
but
I
not
think I would
everybody.
have-
You know who notices, and this is what we deduced. It's only new people to the house. So it happened when Sean first moved into the house, and when the daughter came to visit, and when the friend came to visit. It's only when they've just first are new to the home.
I
What
wonder
is
if
it?
it's someone who thinks, company, we've got company. I gotta cook all night. Oh my gosh.
Some
And then
like,
she's like, oh, damn it.
I'm a ghost and I can't pick up this
Oh,
pot.
shit. I forgot. Maybe it's like a dream. And they're like, oh, I forgot. This is just a bad dream. I'm a ghost. This isn't real.
So he told me another tidbit of information that really got the wheels turning in my head. He said that by the front door, at the bottom, he found some symbols down there. And there was this symbol of these 2 feet with a swastika in the middle.
Oh, well,
and I said, that's weird.
That is weird. A swastika?
Swastika.
Yeah, that's usually not a good sign, but I know that there is like the ancient Egyptian symbol, or in some Indian religion, maybe, that it's a peace sign.
Yes, girl. Yes, you are on the right track.
Okay.
So after getting off the phone with Sean, which, by the way, he's never had anything happen before or since, and said that was the most bizarre experience of his life. But I was like, I've got to figure out what that doll was. Yes. That was my number one thing.
I forgot about the doll until you brought it back to the front door.
Voodoo doll haunting this house. Like, I need to know. I used all the search terms, came up with nothing. So then I was like, fine, I'll figure out what this symbol is. Turns out you were spot on. It isn't a weird, evil Nazi symbol. It's a very common symbol for the goddess Lakshmi. Okay. And a lot of people, so Lakshmi is, I wrote this down. I want to say it correctly. Okay, so the exact symbol with the 2 feet and the swastika in the middle is called Lakshmi Charan Paduka. And it basically, people will put it up in their house as like a good luck charm to bring wealth and prosperity. Lakshmi is, the symbol of wealth, the goddess of wealth.
So they put it by their front door.
Yeah. Okay. So something you would think was like, ooh, these weird, crazy symbols, Nazis. No, it actually is like a very innocent, like, bring wealth and prosperity to this home.
Okay.
But then it got me thinking, okay. So then I texted John and I said, was the family who lived there before Indian? And he was like, yes. And so I was like, okay, we're on the right track. Let me search something about black dolls and Indian. So then my first thought was we talked about the goddess Kali. She's like black goddess.
She does have multi-arms, by the way. I looked that up afterwards. She is the one.
I discovered it today when I was searching. Well, is this a Kali doll?
Oh, yeah. All that.
It's not a Kali doll. But I even actually, because I thought it was a voodoo doll, like 100%. Like, we're not too far from like Louisiana, like very easily. So I even actually reached out to Maverick, who, as we know from last week, is a collector of like strange haunted things. Yeah. And I was like, what do you think about this? And he said, actually, voodoo dolls are normally made of sackcloth and not black fabric. So I was like, damn, not voodoo. So after digging, I discovered that this doll is called a bahuli. And I may be pronouncing that incorrectly, but I will explain what a bahuli is. In India and some other Arab countries, they believe in kal jadoo, also known as black magic. And that is associated with the evil eye, or their term for that is buri nazar. So if you're looking to ward off black magic or the evil eye, you will use what is called a nazar batu. And that just means it's a collection of items that are used to ward off the evil eye. One Nazar Batu is a string with 7 chilies and 1 lime. One is a broken mirror, or a bahuli, which is a doll that was inspired by a voodoo doll, but is used to ward off the evil eye.
Oh, interesting.
The doll ranges from 2 to 6 inches in height and is typically made from black cotton and stuffed. Sometimes it is decorated with white paint. The bahuli is typically hung in the doorway of a home or from a car or rickshaw. So
there it is.
It's totally innocent. Here I thought that it was this, like, evil, what am I trying to say? Like voodoo or evil, like energy being put on the home. But it turns out my theory is that the home was haunted when the previous owners lived there too. And they were trying to ward off this evil haunting by putting up the bahuli dolls in their doorway.
Yeah, that's totally possible. Or they trapped someone in there, some spirit in there, and they can't get out. They can't go. But it doesn't sound super evil as much as just productive, like hungry, like they just want to make some food, do some dishes.
It doesn't seem like angry. Although the locking him out, though, slamming the door and locking it, that seems pretty like, get out, don't come back kind of.
Yeah, that is
there.
Well, I thought the door. So my guest coming back, I thought he was going to open that door and go into another dimension, another world, like that one with that hospital where they took the elevator to
the time traveling door.
I don't know why that's I'm not a psychic, obviously, everybody. I'm making that's where my brain goes.
Actually, you had that thought of like, well, maybe it's one of those janky door handles.
Yeah.
Sean told me that it never happened again. Never the slamming again. So no like weird draft. Never a janky lock. It never locked on its own again.
They just had to test him out. They're like, we're gonna see about this guy, and then like you passed the test.
Yeah, because he actually made it back in the house, so he passed the test.
He didn't leave forever. I mean, but you still do also hear about people who have like an attic roommate that they don't know about.
I know. I love those
so like
stories.
I still can't completely rule that out. And when would you make food?
But wouldn't you hear
everyone would be in bed?
The night he came out and he was like, come out. Who's here? Come out. And then he's listening. Like he is on hyper alert at this point and he is listening. No footsteps, no door, no climbing up into attics, like nothing. It just ceases.
I was going to be like, well, maybe they're just a master of disguise and like a ninja, except when it comes to dishes. And then they're just like super clumsy.
And then it's time to click, 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 click.
Like they just can't stop. Oh man, that's an interesting story. I kind of wanted those dolls after you throw them away to start like appeering everywhere and to keep coming back, showing up. He opens a drawer.
Well, just know if I come to visit, you'll like randomly find some like.
Well, I want to see. I'm going to look that up, or we'll post a picture of those in our.
Yes, I saved one
because I'd love to see. And it's related to voodoo. It is dark magic, but it's trying to. It's the goods ward off the dark magic. Interesting.
Ward it off. I mean, a lot of them do have like very like evil looking menacing faces. Like he probably like got away with just having no face. Like if he was already freaked out by a doll and it had this like evil like
that would be very unsettling. And they were probably like, no, let's just leave that for the next owner. He'll be appreciating. Meanwhile, he's got him on fire in the driveway, like. The Nememonicon or whatever.
And here they were like, oh, he's going to need this to protect him. And then he's just like, throw those mothers away.
Oh, my God. Good story. Well done, NextDoor. Well done, John. Was that his name?
Sean.
Close enough.
Sean.
Okay. So this one is from Anonymous. I have two, and these are genuine people. I swear I didn't Reddit. I'll own it if I look this shit up on Reddit or I find it somewhere and read it to you. I will own it.
I may not, but Alissa will.
I am genuinely, one, I've been asked to protect identities. The other one, I'm just going to assume that they would like their identity protected. So this is from Anonymous. It says, "Hi, I'm happy to share my story, but please leave my name out of it since it is not my story. It is my child's story. When my son was a baby, my grandmother died. I called her Abuelita, which is not a giveaway. I think that just means grandmother in Spanish, right?
It does
Okay,
mean
that's not her first name. Okay. I was like, shit, first sentence. Sorry, Anonymous. Abuelita, your secret is no longer. So I called her Abuelita. He was a sick baby, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. The last thing I said to her was, please watch over my son. He never met her, and I never really spoke to him about her. We only speak English in my house, so we never heard the word Am I saying that? Did you take Spanish?
Abuelita.
Okay, I figured. Okay, Abuelita. I could tell it wasn't coming out of my face right. Abuelita. Yeah? Bien? Bueno? I mean... Okay. In the last years of my grandmother's life, she ate chocolate ice cream at almost every meal. She would say, I am 94 years old and I want ice cream for breakfast, then I will have ice cream for breakfast.
I love that
Isn't
so
that
much.
great? I love it. I love it. I love it.
That will be me.
Abuelita. That's awesome. Fast forward to when my son was 3. I took him out for ice cream. He said to me, I like vanilla ice cream, but Abuelita liked chocolate ice cream. I was a little shocked. I said, how did you know that? His response, oh, she just told me. She's sitting right here. Chills. Oh, these are my favorite. I thought I really liked near-death experience stories, but these little kids, like, having the sense is like, oh, I think it's
Oh, man.
the winner, because these just give me goosebumps
So
like
good.
nothing, right?
Yes.
Because it's so innocent. They're so innocent. They don't know that they're saying something
No.
that's like
She's just right
disturbing. Okay. Then a few weeks later, I was picking my daughter up at preschool. She went to school at a Catholic church. He was waving toward the angel. Okay, wait. Oh, okay. The son is in the car with them, okay? So then a few weeks later, I was picking my daughter up at her preschool with my son. She went to school at a Catholic church. He was waving toward the angel statues. I asked who he was waving at, and he said, Abuelita. I love that my grandfather was watching over him, but then other spirits started to visit him, and it became a problem. The spirit.
Oh, no. Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Did you say grandfather or grandmother?
What did I say? I love that my grandmother was watching over him.
Oh, grandmother. Okay. Just wanted
I
to
might have said
confirm.
father. I love that my grandmother was watching over him, but then other spirits started to visit him, and it became a problem.
Oh, my gosh. I am here for this.
The spirits must have realized that he had this sixth sense, and they would not leave him alone. He would call me in the middle of the night and tell me about the man sitting at the end of his bed or in the chair in his room. He was okay with my grandmother visiting, but the other spirits terrified him. Likewise.
No.
Oh, it's like the Sixth Sense. You said the Sixth Sense.
It really is.
Reminds me of the movie. I hired someone to come in and clear the house. She said he is supposed to see spirits, that she was told this is part of his journey. She said she can shut it off, but it needs to be turned back on when he is 10.
Whoa.
So I think he's at 3 at this point. He went several years without seeing any ghosts. Then he turned 10.
So I guess that she told the lady yes, turn it off.
Yeah, apparently. She's like, I can turn it off, but it needs to be turned back on when he's 10. So he went several years without seeing any ghosts. Then he turned 10. They have come back in full force.
Oh.
So 2 nights ago, I was laying in bed and I heard a deep voice. I opened my eyes and there was a dark figure floating over me. I screamed and it went away. It scared me half to death. If this is what my child has been seeing, I now understand why he is terrified. I saged my home yesterday, and I'm hoping it keeps the spirits at bay. I have a good ghost story and love your podcast. I just wish the ghosts would haunt other people and not my child or myself.
So many questions. First of all, such a good story. What's happening at 10? Why does it have to be turned on at 10? What does he have to see?
Right?
What's he seeing?
My it's part of his journey. But what is that journey? Like, and that's
man,
crazy that they were able to turn it off. She called it.
I am fascinated by this. I hope that she feels comfortable with us emailing or messaging her again to follow up tomorrow and say, hey, any update? I need to know about the cleansing. And also this cleansing woman at the beginning when he's 3, what do you mean turn it off and turn it back on again? Is there just like a switch or like this is the special turning off powder and the turning on sage? Like, how is that even possible?
Maybe his crystals are going to expire. His crystals expire when
his crystals expired. And that's why they're coming back. Holy shit. Then she leaves us on a cliffhanger because she's like, yeah, and now he's 10 and they're back. But she didn't say what he's seeing, just what she saw.
Yeah.
What's he seeing?
I don't know. And I do think I don't see the message, but I'm almost positive. I was like, keep me updated. Let me know if anything else happens. Please, please, please.
No, you know what? This is what you're going to do. You're going to email her and you're going to say, hey, love your story. Love you. Love your kid. Tell me more.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. Did I mention on this podcast, as far as clearing goes, that I tried to clear my house when we first moved in?
And you got very sick.
Yeah, I got very sick. That's all I ever think about now when I think about that. I was like, why do people do that? That hurt. I was like bleeding in my trachea.
Then I sent you that meme. Do you remember?
I don't remember anymore.
The meme was like when you go to sage your house and you end up getting really sick and realize that you're the evil spirit in the house.
Did you send me that?
I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't know if I've seen that. Try again because I love that. Yeah, oh God. That was me. That is me. That's exactly what happened. No.
Yeah, girl.
I don't know. But yeah, I just love like, oh, it's her. I love it when kids know shit they shouldn't or couldn't know.
I know. I'm that awful parent with my kids where I'm just like, have you seen your past life? What's your past life like? No, I don't. Do you see spirits anywhere? Have you guys seen any ghosts? No, Mom. Hey, have you seen the thing on Minecraft? I'm like, why can't you be spooky?
My kids, I said to somebody, I was like, I don't really feel any spirits in this house. We thought that the old lady who lived here died in this house, but it turns out she didn't. I was misinformed. And so that was why I was saging. I was like, oh, someone died in this house. I'm going to
sage that shit away.
But Milo was like, no, Mom, I've seen a girl ghost. There's a girl ghost that lives here. She totally lives here. They're like so calm and very matter of fact. No.
And did you inquire more? Or was he doing it because he knew that you would get excited about it?
No, I think that there might be a little fear to it because him and his buddy went to see if another neighbor kid was home 2 nights ago. And my friend yelled at me. She's like, your ghost shit is scaring the kids. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, they went next door and then they heard a ghost and then they ran home or something. And I did go. I found them both in the garage. I was like, guys, get out of the garage. Go play. No, there's a ghost. We heard the ghost. We heard it calling our names from the backyard. It was calling our names. So the fear is in them. But Milo, like, I would think a kid would want to be reassured and be like, no, there's no ghost. He's like, no, I've seen a ghost. Like, I've seen a lady ghost.
We need to get this on recording.
Yeah. My kids are full of shit. Don't trust a word they say. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, I can't, if I can't see it, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Let's put a call out. NextDoor stories and kid ghost stories.
Yeah, and near-death experiences, please.
Alissa can't get enough, apparently.
I can't. I want to know all the things that you've seen beyond the veil. I want to know. And how you got there. And then what happened when they brought you back.
Details, people.
Details. Don't just be like, I died once and I saw flames. Tell me the goods. I want to know.
No, I'm fine if somebody even just died once and they were like, and, describe a black nothingness. And then I came back to life. But I remember that black nothingness. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool if somebody dies and comes back.
Only once?
What?
You said you think it'd be cool if someone died once as opposed to twice. Even once. Did I say if you died twice? All y'all who've only died once, get out of here with that story. I don't want to hear that shit. I want the 2 times. Who's on 2 or 3 go-rounds?
I don't want to hear it unless if you've died twice.
Yeah, enough of these single near-death experiences. Oh, Lord. Double.
Oh, shit. This was really fun. Before we hop off, though, I have a couple of reviews to surprise you with, because I know you don't check it like I do.
I don't.
So this one comes from an anonymous girl named Kendalls.
Kendalls. I know a Kendall, but we don't know any Kendalls.
At first I thought it said love this cats, which would have been appropriate, but it actually says love this
She
cast.
loves cats so much that she just can't write sentences without it. Like, cat.
She wrote it properly. I'm the one who, my brain, I was like, she loves cats. Okay. She goes, it's like I'm with my friends talking about spooky stories. It's a great way to feel like you're not alone in this quarantine and to indulge in ghostly happenings all year round.
Oh,
yay.
Thank you, Kenzels, whoever you may be.
Mystery. Now this one, I am not sure. It's CJWJENEA. Kujawinweena.
Okay.
That sounds right. Spooky fun every time. These ladies are pure hilarity with a side of creepy. Well, Alissa and Britt aren't creepy. They're just fun. This podcast makes me jumpy and spooked out, all while laughing out loud. This is my go-to listen for smiles and laughter.
Oh, I love that. That's so nice. Thank you, Kujua. I appreciate that. Kujua. If you want a sticker, email us.
Yes.
These code names everyone's using, I don't recognize these names. I like to think it's just strangers who stumble upon the podcast, but I think we also have some just real good friends and
sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
I think it's a happy mixture of both. I'd like to.
Is someone going to be really upset? They're like, you didn't know Sujkojua was me? It was like, come on, this random grouping of letters and numbers.
All you had to do was read it backwards and then jumble the W's next to each other.
Bust out the Ouija board. It's a message.
The Ouija board.
Ouija.
If you leave a review and want to share your screenshot with us, you can go to our Gmail. We've got an email.
Yeah, it is skeletalespodcast@gmail.com. You could even DM us over at Instagram at Skeletales Podcast. You could also, is it called a DM over on Facebook groups? Find us.
Sure.
But
it just means direct message, right?
Yeah.
Facebook, it's Facebook. Nope.
Facebook.
It is at facebook.com. No, it is Skeletales Community on Facebook. And yeah, you can actually, if you find a good NextDoor thread, if you get on one, you start one. Yeah. Please start one. Go over there and post it. We all want to see that shit.
Mm-hmm. But then save the best one and email it to us directly. Okay. Do the second best one. Post that on NextDoor.
You can prank call us at 302-689-DEAD.
Someone has pranked us. I haven't listened yet. I saw it and my brain didn't function and associate Google Voice with like, oh my God, we got a caller. So
Can we pause and listen to it?
I haven't. You want to listen to it right
live?
now?
Yes. Yes, right now. Clap.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
We don't want to maybe collab.
No, I want to hear it.
It's a story.
Oh, it's a story? I thought you said somebody prank called us.
No, I meant they prank called us with a ghost story. You better not prank call us with a ghost story or a near-death experience. Oh, please don't do that.
No, if it's a ghost story, we can't play that. But if it's a prank call where someone's like,
not a prank call. Sorry, I misled you. I apologize, everybody who got excited for it to hear a prank call. I have
But if you do want to prank call us, it is 302-689-3323. Dead.
We also have Twitter at SkeletalesPod at Twitter. Like, review, subscribe, do the things, share it, tell your friends about it, tell a friend of a friend, email all your friends' friends. I don't know. You don't have to do that. Britt, do you have something else you want to talk about?
No. Alissa, what does your shirt say?
My shirt says, haunt you later.
Haunt y'all later.
Yay. Good night.